Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just tried to make this video and my alarm went off. I woke up earlier than my alarm today, so there's that. I guess your video just stops recording and starts over if your alarm goes off, so that's fun. But anyways, this video is about things that I'm going to stop doing this year. This isn't necessarily like my resolutions, it's more about a commitment that I'm making to myself that it's, pretty much bad habits that I am committed to working to try to improve over the next year, over the next week, over the next 90 days. It's not even necessarily this year. It's just I want to change as a person in certain ways, and these are the ways. And I think that New Year's is placed kind of weird because I think that the new year should be in spring because that's what makes sense. But actually, in the winter, there's some sort of wisdom that's like, you get all these ideas, you're kind of staying inside more, you're a little bit more quiet, maybe socializing a little bit less, and maybe you're in your thoughts more. So you're getting more ideas, you're getting to work through these thoughts that maybe before were interrupted by talking to other people or just being, just outputting, having that kind of external interaction more often in different seasons than you have in winter, where you really kind of quiet down a little bit. So I think that, everything happens for a reason, and this is the way God wants everything to happen. And if this is the time that I'm inspired to change and work hard at establishing new habits, then this is my time. It doesn't always happen in January, but this year it did. So these are the things that I'm going to stop doing, and please let me know if you can relate in the comments. This year I am committed to not being a coward and not withholding my thoughts, opinions, and in anticipation that other people will attack me and criticize me and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. I care about the way that people feel, and, I love people, and that's what's held me back a lot in my life from not sharing every opinion that I have, or not just sharing questions and like prompts. And that's what I do best, is I find perspective in situations, usually by going against the grain. And I've been not living up to my true potential. I've been not respecting who God made me to be to appease others, and I am so done doing that. Let me know if you have felt similarly, and if you're done with that as well. So most of you know that I am a big believer in God's divine design, and God's wonderful, much more intelligent than humans design of not only human biology, but of all of nature. And I believe that there is a hidden, unseen wisdom. I have faith in the unseen, to include God. And this kind of anti-evidence stance is very unpopular these days. And my natural immunity and natural health beliefs are very unpopular these days, especially during this time. It's like before you're in the minority of a belief system, and you kind of just smirk about it, or you kind of take people's comments with a grain of salt, whatever. But now it's like in your face. It's like people are judging you everywhere you go. If you choose not to wear a mask outdoors, outdoors, when you're not by people, in close proximity, or even like just in passing, like walking by each other on the sidewalks, people are glaring at me for not wearing a mask. And, if you want more information on why, I don't believe in germ theory or whatever, I'll put a link below to somebody more qualified to explain that. Anyways, so being somebody that believes in natural health and immunity during this whole thing has been, oh my gosh, hard, but it's really made me confront my own. Since I'm an empath, I oftentimes will take other people's emotions and moods and absorb them myself and feel them as if I were that person. And it's really made me confront that and actually draw boundaries around that. And really be aware of how I actually am at times judging people's opinions of me before I even know what they are. So to be more aware of that and be less attached to judgment and more just neutral in situations, showing up as myself, as the person who believes in what I believe in. Because for this, natural immunity, natural health, as prevention, it is a very religious belief for me. And so just showing up as who I am and what I believe in, and having faith that things will work out as they should without anticipating how people feel about it or what people think about me, has been really freeing. And I just used to be really fearful of being attacked and all that. But that being said, in my current situation, as a almost 20-week pregnant woman, I'm facing a lot of the realities of what it's like to be, dry throat. The realities of what it actually means to be somebody with my beliefs during this time, and just existing in American society, because my insurance does not cover home births. My insurance does not, and I went through something similar. I'll link the video below. It's hilarious because my husband doesn't think it's hilarious, but we went through something similar during my last pregnancy where my insurance didn't even cover anything related to pregnancy or childbirth for me, because I was still on my dad's insurance. So this time, all of the midwives are out of network, conveniently. And I know that insurance companies do not cover more alternative health, natural health options, because there's not as much money in them. But it's so frustrating that I can't get my $5,000 home birth covered, or even partially covered, or whatever, when a hospital birth can cost from $20,000 to $30,000, I think it is. The number I found was 30,000, but I'm trying to allot for location and variance, so I'm not exaggerating. But I'm going through that whole thing, and hopefully, they told me that even like during this time, these sort of, if you plead your case to your insurance, or if you have to have a physician recommend or refer or request that your insurance company makes an exception, because I can't do that on my own. I guess I'm like possibly the worst advocate for my own health, or my own, what I think are good decisions for my own life. So I have to have a physician do that for me. And I don't have a physician. We don't go to the doctor. We don't, praise God. I mean, we don't really get sick, but if we do get a little something, I'm not the kind of person that runs to the doctor's office. I know how to, I'm a certified health coach. I'm not trained in the medical field, but I definitely know traditional and I like to think that they're common sense ways of dealing with illness. And so I don't have a physician. I don't have a PCP, as they like to call it, primary care physician, because we don't have any need to go to doctor's offices. But they were letting me know that, during this time, insurance companies are more likely to approve gap exceptions to their policies because I guess women are afraid to give birth in hospitals because of COVID. And that's not the case for me. I'm just opposed to voluntary hospital birth for myself. And, but, I guess in this case, it may help me, please God, but, even if insurance doesn't cover it, we're still going to scrounge up the cash and do what we believe in. So it's a very alienating, and it feels like uncompassionate that, I pay this insurance every month in case we get in a car accident, mainly, but, I can't get much use out of it, generally, most of the years. And maybe that's true for you. Let me know. Is that something, do you feel like you pay a ton to insurance, you don't get anything out of it? Maybe that's what drives people to actually go to the doctors. It's like, well, we have this, why not use it? But I'm having a really hard time reconciling the fact that this is what I want to do. This is how I want to give birth. And, these obstacles are being placed in front of me just because that's how I choose that I want to give birth. And I just think it's ironic in this, day and age when it's like these very modern feminist ideals are very prominent. But when it comes to me deciding how I want to give birth, I'm financially burdened with out-of-pocket costs. And I just think that that's really unjust. And that's a whole thing that we could talk about for a long time. But long story short, one of the things I'm going to stop doing is pretending to go along with things that I don't agree with. And that's not to say that I'm going to pick fights, but I will speak up when I'm moved to do so, when I'm called to do so, and do so lovingly and kindly. And that's my resolution. I also, I want you to look into this midwife. Her name is Rachel, I believe. I will link her information below, but she teaches a lot of things traditional. She's a beautiful project going on, and she teaches a lot of really cool courses about womanhood and motherhood. And she talks about how she's done pretending that disconnecting from society and other human beings is healthy when it actually makes us sick. And I couldn't agree more with that. Actually, I think it's a fact. It's not an opinion. I think it's a fact. And it's another one of those things that I shy away from calling common sense because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I think it's one of those things that everybody knows in their bodies, in their hearts, in their gut, especially us women. And we just, ignore it because we trust the authorities that are in power at this time, the government or government agencies, or we forget to trust ourselves and to that we have a lot of power and a lot of knowledge and a lot of just God-given wisdom that we don't even realize that we have, because we're so conditioned and, might I say, brainwashed by society. If you guys don't know me, I'm a sociologist. That was what my degree was in, is sociology, crime, deviance, social control, and my minor was in human development and family sciences. And if you don't know what sociology is, or you get it confused with psychology, which is very common, psychology is the study of how your brain determines your behavior. And sociology is how social institutions determine your behavior, or what influences your behavior based on the social institutions that you're raised in. And, you know, the social institutions are family, marriage, church, school, government. It's a lot of the establishments that we look to for wisdom or guidance. So that is what my texts keep coming up right here on distracting me. Anyways, so I am not only am I somebody that looks for perspective and goes against the grain, but I also am very critical and analytical, and I love to see how human behavior is affected by movements going on, or what church somebody belongs to, or what ideology they belong to, what kind of family they came from. It's all so dynamic and so interesting to me. But during this time, I've been really, really faced with the fact that the area I live in and the population that is here seems to be very, very trusting in institutions, and just not even not questioning institutions at all. It's a very, you guys know that I live in the DC suburbs, right? So definitely a black sheep here, as I always have been, and I always will be. And I'm done with certain things. So maybe I'll post another video about the other things I'm done with, and you can let me know if you can relate to any of them, or if you feel inspired to share your side of the story, or if you agree or disagree with anything. Let's have a conversation, in the comments. Let's talk about it. Or you can reach out to me personally if you don't like that. But I just wanted to share with you guys. I wanted to open up these conversations because I think there's a lot of people that want to talk about this. A lot of women especially that want to talk about these things, who also don't enjoy other people's feelings being hurt, because of course if other people's feelings are getting hurt, it's they're allowing their feelings to be hurt. But us compassionate people, we don't prefer that. So I just want to open it up for you guys, and let's talk about it. Let's get into it. And let me know what you're done doing in 2021. Till next time, guys. Bye.